Hello students, a very good morning to you. Due to the current lockdown situation, you just like any other people are within your houses, and that's the best thing to do. It's safe to be in your houses, but at the same time it presents some problems. When you are at your homes and you are not able to come to school, especially when you are in class 10 or class 12, these are very vital years, you might be in anxiety, which is very normal because you are thinking about your course. So we are trying to bring you video lectures. We have brought you video lectures in the past, but owing to technical and other difficulties in accessing facilities, we could not bring you some of your video lectures. However, we were in touch with the students, and during this period some of you told me that the economic geography, that is your first chapter of your course, that is economic geography, subject matter and resource, you are facing some problems in understanding that chapter. So today once again we have already discussed that in our class itself. However, today, since you have got doubts, therefore I will once again take you through this chapter so that you can understand. So while discussing this chapter, I will also give you some things to do, so that this is not just one video watching class, you can benefit out of it. First of all, I would request you to take out your geography books and to open the first page, your geography books, and open the first page, open the chapter, the first chapter. After opening it, I will also tell you where to underline and mark. After that, I also ask you to please take out your pen and a notebook. That is very important. When I am discussing, I will highlight some points or give you some questions which, when you answer after watching this video, you can understand that your watching this video has been fruitful. Otherwise, you will open your mobile phones or your laptops and you will watch it, and at the end you will see that you have gained hardly anything from this video lecture. So let us begin this discussion today. So to begin with, first important thing is, what is this economic geography, right? What really is economic geography? So the definition is written here on the board, and you have to read and rote learn this definition, because you are not supposed to make a definition of your own. The definition has to be just as it is. So here is the definition of economic geography. It is the branch of geography that studies what? Human activities associated with production, distribution, consumption and exchange of resources, which is done in spatial and temporal contexts. This is not necessary. So the branch of geography that studies human activities associated with production, distribution, consumption and exchange of resources done in spatial and temporal contexts. This is the definition of economic geography. So you can write this question in the notebook as you are watching this video. What is economic geography, or define economic geography, or what do you mean by economic geography? This is the answer. Clear? Okay, this is the answer. So actually, what do we study in economic geography? From this definition, we understand that first of all, economic geography is, what is economic geography? First thing that you have to remember is that economic geography is a branch of geography. Alright. Second thing, branch of geography, so what does it do? How is it different from general geography that we study? When you study geography, basically we study the landforms, where there are hills, what are plateaus, we learn about the rivers and oceans and glaciers, we learn about the landforms basically. But economic geography is a specialized branch of geography where what do? We study human activities associated with the production, distribution, consumption and exchange of resources. Now what does it mean? In this portion of geography, we study how human beings produce resources, how human beings consume resources, where is the distribution of resources, Now, it might all seem very complicated for you, but it is very simple. You see, all resources are not available everywhere, right? You cannot find gold in a pit in Badarpur, right? But if you go to Kolar, you will find that there are gold mines. So, every resource on the planet is not found everywhere. It's distributed differently, right? Or take the case of one-horned rhino. They are available in Assam. They are not available in Madhya Pradesh, but they are available in Assam. But even in Assam, do you see wild rhinos in Badarpur or Silchar or Karimganj? No. Wild rhinos you will find in Kaziranga and adjoining areas of Kaziranga, which means that all the resources are not available everywhere. So, the distribution is different, right? So, in economic geography, we study the distribution of resources, which resources available where. We study how human beings produce resources. All resources are not naturally occurring. We have to produce resources sometimes, all right. We will see it in the later part of the chapter. So, how do we produce these resources? Then, how do human beings consume these resources? What do we do with our resources? We get some gold. So, what do we do with the gold? Do we eat gold? Do we use gold in our food? Do we use gold in ornaments? Do we use gold in making paper? How do we use gold? All right, you don't use everything for every purpose, do you? You don't. So, how do we use? Consume means to eat. One meaning of the word consume is to eat. Another meaning of the word consume is to use. All right. So, how do we use these resources? Right. So, we study where the resources are available, how we produce the resources, how we consume the resources, and how we exchange resources. All right. So, human life is very dependent, very much dependent on resources, right. So, when it is dependent on resources, what do we do with resources? We use resources for our various means, for our various needs. We may use resources for food, we may use resources to build our homes, we may use resources also to produce various things. We may also use resources to exchange these resources in either in exchange of money or in exchange of food or something, or in exchange of resources. We exchange resources. How? Let me give you an example. I need a goat, I need to buy a goat, right? And you need some money, is it not? So, what do? If you have a goat, you bring it to the market, I buy the goat and give you the money, right? So, this is how you have got money is a resource. You have got one resource in your hand, I have got one more resource in my hand. I have got money, you have got the goat. I need the goat, you need the money. I go to the market, and what do? We exchange our resources. I give you the money, you give me the goat, right? So, this is how we exchange our resources. And where is it done? All right, that is also another question that economic geography tries to answer. In spatial and temporal context, where all this happens? Where does the distribution takes place? Where does the consumption take place? Where it is very important to understand that. I have got some resources, where do I consume it? Do I consume all the resources in my dining room? Do I consume some of the resources in the market? Do I exchange all the resources in my bedroom? Or do I exchange some of the resources also in the market? Do I exchange some of the resources in the pond? So, where all these production, distribution, consumption, exchange, all these things take place comes within the purview of economic geography. So, what does economic geography study? In very simple terms, economic geography is a branch of geography. It studies how human beings produce, consume, exchange resources. Also, we study where these resources are distributed and where we consume them and exchange them and where we produce them. This is what economic geography studies, right? Now, every branch of study, I hope you are clear with this definition. I hope you have understood what is economic geography, and you will be able to write. If somebody asks you what is economic geography, of course, you do not have to tell them all that I have told you. You have to basically write this definition and give a bit of the explanation, right? The definition and the explanation, you will find it in your notes. Now, every field of study has got its scope, right? A scope. Like, I am a doctor of bones. A doctor of bones is called an orthopedic. I am an orthopedic, all right. I deal with bones. So, suppose you have hurt your little finger and you have hurt the bone of your little finger, I am the doctor for it, right. You have hurt your knee, I am the doctor for it. You have hurt some bone in your elbow, I am the doctor for it. But you have hurt your tooth, one of your teeth, I am not the doctor for it. That is outside my scope. Are you getting the point? That is outside my scope. So, it is very important to understand the scope of every subject, that is the radius within which this subject operates. So, what is the scope? If you turn to page number 2 of your book, I will just point it out to you once again. Can you see it? I hope you can. Here you will get some questions, and these are the scope of the subject, all right. These are the scope of the subject, clear? These are the scope of the subject, and these questions will lead to some discussions, and together they are the scope of subject. So, you may be asked this question, define economic geography. Khatam, here is your definition, you have done it, right? This is your definition. And they might also say, what is the scope of economic geography? So, the scope of economic geography is written on page 2, which we shall now discuss. So, I am rubbing this board for you, right. I hope you have copied this. If you want your screens and copy this definition. Now, the scope of economic geography. I told you on page number 2 there are 5 questions. These questions I have written down for you here on the board. What is the scope of economic geography? What are the things we study there? If these 5 questions are what economic geography tries to study, right. First question is, where is the economic activity located? Suppose, give me an example of an economic activity. What is an economic activity? Economic activity is a work that you do which leads to the creation of wealth, that is, it leads to earning of money, all right. So, where is the economic activity located? What is an economic activity? Examples of an economic activity. Example of economic activity could be fishing. Example of economic activity could be industries where people go and work. It could be mining, mines, you dig the ground and find out minerals. So, there are so many economic activities, even all the things that we have, factories, schools and colleges and laboratories and hospitals and everything. Anything that leads to wealth generation is an economic activity, where there is a transaction of money directly or transaction of resources. It is an economic activity. So, where is the economic activity located? First question. Second question, what are the characteristics of the economic activity, not geography but economic activity. What are the characteristics of the economic activity? All right. First question is, where is the economic activity taking place? Second question is, what are the characteristics of that economic activity? Third question is, to what other phenomena is the economic activity related? Fourth question is, why is the economic activity located where it is? And fifth one is, would it not be better if it were located elsewhere? These are the 5 questions. Now let me explain to you one by one. First question, where is the economic activity located? Now suppose, let us take an example of fishing. So we will study, in economic geography we will study, where is the economic activity located? Is it located near a river? Is it located near a pond? Or is it located near the sea? Where is it located? Second, what are the characteristics of the economic activity? Second question, the first question you understood, where are you doing that economic activity? Second question is, what are the characteristics of that activity? So, what are the characteristics of that activity? For example, let us go back to fishing. What are the characteristics of that economic activity? It could be, the characteristics is that you need water, you need fish, you need implements to catch fish, To catch fish, do you need a screwdriver? You don't, right? But to catch fish, you might need fishing net. So what are the characteristics of that economic activity? Does it require digging? Does it require draining water? Does it require a boat and all these things? These are the questions. The third question is, to what other phenomena is the economic activity related? You see, those people who are experts in fishing, they know that weather has a lot of role to play in fishing. You can't get certain kind of fish in a certain season. So you will see that people will not go to catch local fish. I'll give you an example of a local fish, like you may have heard the name of koi fish, koi. So those who know fishing, they will never go to search koi fish in the month of December, because they know you won't find it, right? You won't find it. And those who go to catch koi fish will not go to Barak river to catch koi fish, alright, they know it. So look at this, your questions are being answered. See, where is the economic activity located? It's located in the backyards of my village. What are the characteristics of economic activity? The characteristics of that economic activity is that it requires rain, it requires water to fill up the backyards. The backyard should be connected in some way to a bigger source of water like a pond, right? The third question is, to what other phenomena is the economic activity related? Oh well, it needs rain, it needs some thunderstorms, it needs stagnant water, alright, connected to a bigger source of water like a pond, it has to be rainy season. These are the three questions. The fourth question is, why is the economic activity located where it is? The fourth question is, why is this economic activity located where it is? That is, why are you trying to catch fish here in the backyard of your house? You could go to the river to catch fish. The answer to this question is that, yes, I could go to the river, but in the river there is very slim chance of me finding, almost no chance of finding koi fish in Barak river. Koi fish is found in this area in the backyards of my house, so I am doing this economic activity here. Clear? Fifth question is, would it not be better if it were located elsewhere? Now the fifth question is, okay, you are trying to catch fish in the backyard of your house, but would it not be better to have this economic activity somewhere else? So somewhere else where? So you will see, okay, somebody says, why don't you go and try to catch fish in the sea or the ocean? So you will answer them, no, it is not available. Koi fish cannot survive in salt water, right? So, or somebody says, instead of, so it needs stagnant water, why don't you try harvesting koi fish in a drum? Well, if this is possible, you will say, all right, we will do it in a drum. If it leads to more production of koi fish, we'll do it there, right? If it is not possible, you will not do it. Now, of these 5 questions, the first 3 questions are the subject matter of traditional economic geography, right? The first 3 questions are the subject matter of traditional economic geography. The 4th and 5th question are the subject matter of modern economic geography. Now, I gave you the first question. By watching this video, you should answer some questions. So the first question was, define economic geography. The second question that you have to answer is, what is the scope of economic geography? How will you write this answer? You will write this answer like this. The scope of economic geography tries to answer the following 5 questions. Then you will write the 5 questions. Then you will write the first 3 of these 5 questions. The answer to the first 3 questions is the scope of traditional economic geography. The answer to the 4th and 5th questions is the scope of modern economic geography. Clear? So what did we learn from this video lecture? We know, we are very confident now about the definition of economic geography. We are very confident now about the scope of economic geography. Right? Now, 2 more things that I want to tell you. You will see in that same page, there is a person, very important person, whose name is George Chism. He's a very important person. Alright, George Chism is a very important person. Now my next question to you, who is called the father of modern economic geography? The answer is, the father of modern economic geography is, who is he? Yes, he is George Chism. So this question and the answer, please write it in your copies. Clear? So he said that the main objective of economic geography is determination of the economic development trend and direction of a place. So please underline that, that is in page number 3, the first 2 lines. On the other hand, 2 others, Jones and Darkenwald, they said that economic geography is associated with productive occupations or activities and attempts to explore the answers to why certain regions are outstanding in the production and export of various articles and why some others are advanced in import and trade and commerce. This is what Darkenwald and Jones have said. This is available in page number 3. Please mark that, and when you write the scope of economic geography, you must also add their names and their statements. Now let us just go back. I don't want to bombard you with too many things and you will not understand. Let us, before ending this lecture today, let us just see what we have learned out of this video lecture. If we have done that, you have understood this, we will be ready to go more. First, we are sure about the definition of economic geography. We are sure about the scope of economic geography. We know who is the father of modern economic geography. Do we know this? If you are still not sure, please go back, rewind this video, watch the video, and the questions that I have given you, you must give me the answer to these questions today itself and WhatsApp them to my number, WhatsApp number 9401534659. This is my WhatsApp number 9401534659. These answers must reach me today itself, otherwise I will not be able to understand whether you are comprehending the lectures or not. Plus, if you don't answer these questions, watching these video lectures will be fruitless. It will just be watching some videos, nothing else, right? So please answer these questions. What are these questions? I'll repeat it again. Question number 1, define economic geography. Question number 2, what is the scope of economic geography? Question number 3, who is the father of modern economic geography? Just these 3 questions. The answers must reach me on 9401534659. One more thing, whenever you send me your answers, please write your name and your class. Please do that. Some of you just send me, sir, here is my answer. Now I don't have all your numbers saved on my phone. It is not possible. So please, each time you send your answers, please write your name and your class along with the answer that you send. Clear? So we shall end today's video lecture here, and hold on, we will also continue with this chapter so that this chapter is completely and thoroughly understood by you. Thank you very much.